Uncensored, unfiltered, unapologetic, unscripted. This is the podcast about life. Welcome to Unscripted Life with Mike Winkler. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Unscripted Life. I am Mike Winkler, and I'm pleased to have you all with me, and glad that you're listening to go with me on this uncensored, unfiltered, unapologetic, and unscripted journey through life. What can I say? I thought it was time to do a podcast like this for many reasons. First of all, I've always had a hard time personally with the thought of going to therapy. And, we all go through different things in our life and different difficulties and different paths of happiness, sadness, anger in our life. And sometimes we need someone to vent all those things to. But my one issue has always been I've never felt comfortable going to a therapist. I've never felt comfortable doing that. And sometimes I think, it would be helpful to vent all my problems and issues and to get some clarity on lots of different things that bother me per day, per week, per month, per year. But I've just come to the conclusion that maybe that just isn't for me. So I've looked for different avenues, different ways to be able to vent my troubles, to get things off my chest. And I've talked to different family members about different things, and that does sometimes help. But sometimes that doesn't always work. So I felt as though a podcast like this would be the perfect avenue to kind of just talk about things and maybe in a way some of the things that I say could potentially be therapy to you, the listener. So maybe there's something that's going on in my life that you can relate to, and then you realize that those problems can be in common with other people. And I remember all the years when I'd have different issues and I'd talk to family about different problems that have going on. They would always tell me about, you're not the only one going through this. And I was always dismissive of that because in the moment you feel as though I don't care about anybody else going through it. I'm going through it. But as I've had time to really process those words and think about that, it really is comforting and refreshing to know that other people could be going through what you're going through. And now I kind of have come to the conclusion that gives me a little bit of, I don't want to say clarity, but comfort, knowing that perhaps I'm not the only one going through this. So in a way, I feel like this podcast could be an avenue or something for any of you listeners to feel good about, that maybe there's something that I'm going through that you're going through as well, and maybe we can help each other get through this, maybe by finding out that how I've gotten through it, or maybe you could write to me and tell me how you got through it, and maybe it will help me. On this first episode, I really wanted to talk about really what has happened to me the past year and a half. I will go back to around July of last year, of 2024. There were two guys that I was friends with for a very long time, and I'm not gonna use names on here because I don't feel like it's necessary. But I had two really good friends that I was friends with for a very long time, going back, as far as, we'll say 13, 14, 15 years. And they were two friends that I really considered to be like brothers to me. And the one always used to refer to me as like a brother to him. And it was a friendship that we both all did so much together. We went to conventions together. We used to game together. We would film movies together, and we hung out so much. And the last thing I ever expected to happen was for that friendship or those friendships to those two to end. And especially in the way that it did. So, right around July 4th weekend, uh, we all went to a Cleveland Guardians game. And it was me and the two guys and then the one's girlfriend. And we all carpooled downtown and we went to the game. And I thought we all had a really good time. And the night ended fairly well. We talked a couple days later gaming. The one had bought the tickets to the game. They were club seats. And, they were fairly on the expensive side. And I think the one thing that upset me about getting those tickets was when he had mentioned about going to a game that year. I, of course, said I was down to do that. But at the time when I agreed to it, the last thing I thought he was going to do was buy club seats that were expensive. I thought, oh, we'll go to a game, we'll spend $15, $20, $25, $30 on a seat, whether it be upper deck or what have you. So the other friend, I was playing, I was either playing online with him or we were talking on Snapchat. I don't quite remember. But he had told me that he had bought the tickets, that my other friend bought the tickets, and what they were and what they were going to cost. And I was like, well, why are we getting tickets that are so expensive? I didn't tell him that, but I was thinking it, and I thought, I'm not going to say that because, it's fine. We're going to the game. I'll muster up the money. We'll go, whatever. So we went, and I had to, pay him back for the ticket. So what I did is I believe the one told me what the ticket had costed, and I think he said it was $70, $80. So I put $70 in the envelope, and then I gave it to him at the game, and everything seemed to be okay. Now, when the game was over, and 2 days later I was gaming with them, he had made mention to me that I didn't give him enough money, and that the tickets actually costed, I don't know if it was 120, 110, whatever it was, and I'm thinking, well, that's not what I was told. I gave you what I had. I gave you what I had at the time. I told him I would get him the rest of the money as soon as I could. He had said he's been going through some difficult money issues, and I told him, well, so was I. And at that time, I was going through some money issues, and was a little short on cash to do extra fun things. So I told him I'd get him the money as fast as I could. When I had it, I'd give it to him. So after that conversation, when we ended that conversation, there was nothing, there was no bitterness, there was no hostility, no nothing. It ended like a normal conversation, we'll play again soon, whatever. Well, we used to talk the three of us used to talk almost every day or every couple days. We would always have constant conversations. It was always constant contact. And then all of a sudden, one day was going by, and 2 days were going by, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. And I contemplated on finally saying something. But I thought, no, I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to see if I hear anything. And that part I kind of regret. Part of me feels like I should have maybe reached out and found out what was going on. Perhaps I was being a little bit, bitter in the situation. Like, I was feeling like, though, okay, you don't want to text me, then fine, I'm not going to text you. I do regret that, and I still regret that to this day, that I didn't attempt to reach out to see what was going on. But I can't change the past of it. And so a lot of time went by, and this and that, and as a week and 2 weeks started going by, I started posting little things on the Snapchat stories. And, still wasn't getting any answers to anything. And my Snapchat stories were being viewed. And nothing was being said. Nothing was being said. And before you know it, 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So all I can tell you now is that it has literally been 16 months since I've last talked to either one of them. No contact, no text messages, no phone calls, no nothing. Never heard from any of them. And as a matter of fact, the one literally went out of his way to not only delete me from Instagram, he deleted me on Snapchat. He deleted me on the Steam gaming platform and deleted me off Discord. A lot of the things we all used to communicate on when we game and such. Out of nowhere, he deletes me from all that stuff. So we are literally 16 months removed from the last time we've talked, and I still don't know what happened. I mean, who honestly lets a 10, 11, 12 plus year friendship end with just dead silence? I take responsibility for the fact that I should have probably reached out and should have got some answers to it and found out what was going on. But at the same time, it makes me feel as though I did something wrong when I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong to them. And if they feel like that I did, why couldn't they have told me? Weren't we friends long enough to be able to talk that out? I mean, we're adults. We're not kids in high school anymore, or in elementary school or middle school. We are adults. So why couldn't that have been discussed? If there was something bothering you to the point where I guess you felt like our friendship couldn't survive it or you couldn't stomach it, don't you think it warranted an explanation? I mean, I wasn't the one with the problem. He's the one that went out of his way to delete me off all those things. Now, the one still has me on Snapchat. That's the kicker. And he'll still view things on my Snapchat, but he won't say anything. But I will tell you the ultimate kicker in all of this. And it's the thing that really bothers me the absolute most about this whole friendship thing ending. What bothers me the absolute most is that my good friend, a friend that I had since I was in middle school, has passed away just a few months ago. That's a whole other thing that I'd like to discuss on a following episode, just to kind of talk about him and the memories I have of him. But what bothers me the most is that when he passed away, I posted about it on my Snapchat, and the one could see it, viewed it, looked at it. I posted about his passing numerous times, and not a single word was said about, I am sorry, what happened to him. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of longtime friends do you have that can't even push aside whatever their problem is to be human and just say, what happened to him? I'm so sorry. I liked, him as having as a friend. I liked having him around. I liked my times with him. I mean, these two knew him so well. They spent a lot of time with him as well when we all used to hang together. He was also filming movies with us. He would game with me in one of them. I just don't understand that whatever you're angry about, first, you can't say what it is, and then two, you can't push it aside to send condolences. You look at those things and you say nothing. It's sad, and it bothers me. It bothers me to the core that they couldn't even have the common decency to say anything about it. I just, I felt like they were better than that. And all that proved to me that I lost respect for both of them because I thought those two were better than that. I'm going to refer to those two as M and J. Jay is the one that is still on my Snapchat and saw the stuff about the friend's passing, and he said nothing. The M is the one that deleted me from the Instagrams and the Discords and stuff. I just don't understand their way of thinking, and I've literally lost all respect for them. And I just think it's downright shitty that not only did you not vocalize what your problems were with why we ended our friendship the way you did, but the fact that you didn't have the common decency to even reach out when somebody you knew so well passes away and you can't even say a word. It's just sad, and I don't even want to really continue talking about them at this point because really it's a waste of my breath, because people that I thought that I knew, that I was good friends with, that I thought I could trust and be and consider them family, the fact that they did that is low. It's extremely low, and it's really, I think, one of the lowest things you really can do. And I am just so disappointed in them, extremely. So that's been going on since July of last year, all the way through now. It's sad, but if I could take something positive away from what happened with that, right now I've got 3 really great friends. 3. The one I've known since middle school as well, and I'll refer to him as Al. Al has always been an incredible friend, and he has been a part of my life for a long time, and he has always been someone that I feel like I could always talk to and confide in and trust. And he really is one of my, he probably is my best friend. Him and the one that passed away were 2 of my greatest friends, 2 of my longest standing friends. And having that friendship with Al has just been a blessing, and I am so incredibly thankful for it. I'm incredibly thankful for him, and he and his wife have just been such a shining light in my life. They are just 2 wonderful people, and I am so thankful for both of them. Because Al himself has really helped me get through these tough times, knowing that I have a good, trusting friend in him, and I am just truly blessed. And my other friend, Sam, I've known him for a long time as well. I've known him for about 16 years. He has also been a really great friend. He and I have done a lot together too, going to Ohio State games and different sports games. We have always been a big fan of playing the Halo franchise on Xbox. He and I have been avid Halo players for as long as I can remember. And over the years, we enjoyed playing Halo, and we even still do. And today we have ventured into playing other games as well. And it's been really great. The last couple months, especially with Sam, because we kind of haven't played our online games in a long time, and we have finally gotten back to doing that again, and it's been really nice because it's kind of something I've really missed. It's something that's just a lot of fun. It's good conversation, but it's also fun to play games that you compete in and you can strategize together, and it's just a lot of fun. Um, I am very thankful for having Sam's friendship, and I hope to have both he and Al's friendship for a lifetime. I really do. I really feel as though they are lifetime friendships, and I also want to include, um, my friend, my other friend Ken. Uh, he 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 is again somebody that I've known just as long as Sam. Uh, he's we hadn't talked in a good amount of time um, before the last year and a half or so. We always stayed in contact through fantasy footballs and fantasy football leagues and stuff like that, and different conversations on Snapchat and stuff. But when my other friend passed away, he came up from where he lives to come to the funeral, and he said that he also took his death very hard, and even though he hadn't seen him in a long time, he knew him pretty well, and um, it deeply affected him. And since that it has happened, we have been all talking in this big group chat, and we have made it a point to try to all get together and hang out and do things. And I think in a way that our friend dying so young, at only at the age of 37, or 36, I just think that it really makes you realize how quickly life goes by, or how quickly it could be taken away from you. And his death has very deeply affected me. I have good days where I don't think about it, and I think in those days I still feel like he's still here. And then all of a sudden reality hits me. And then I realize he's not here anymore. And all I can think about is he used to come over and we used to play different games together, and it's just not it's weird not having that anymore. Somebody that you saw a lot, talked to a lot, could easily go on Facebook Messenger and you could message him and you could talk, and it's just, I think losing him has brought some of us closer together for it, and I am so happy to have Ken come back into all of our lives, and to be able to see and hang with him. Just the other night, we went to the bowling alley with Sam and Ken and his family, and it was so nice. It was so nice to just feel like you have people that genuinely care, and you have people in your life that you feel like are a part of your family, that could be a part of your family. And I just wanted to bring that up and just say I am incredibly, incredibly thankful for Al, Sam, and Ken, because they are three truly great friends, and I could not be any more thankful than I am to have those three in my life. So thank you, you three, because you three truly do mean a lot to me. I do want to get to one final thing that happened recently, that really made this year one of the worst years in my life. I mean, I look at the past year and a half, and I look at two great friendships that I lost for no good reason, and then I lose my other great friend. He passes away. And then just 2 months ago, a friend that I thought was someone I could trust, confide in, and was one of my best friends that I've known also for 15 years, She hurt, she really hurt me. Her name is I'll refer to her just as simply Steph. Steph was a friend that I've had for more than 15 years. Someone that I thought that could talk to about anything. Um, and just a friend that was constantly around. She felt like family. And a situation happened with her boyfriend, and it blew up because he had a problem with something, and he started blaming me and my other friend Sam for different things that happened to her. She got into a DUI situation last year, and we were being accused of being a bad influence on her because she got into this DUI incident. But here's the problem. The night that she got it, we were not with her. She was out with other people, and she obviously was drinking and got pulled over and got her license suspended. And my question to the whole thing is that why were the two of us being blamed for that when we weren't with her that night, unless he was under the impression that we were? And then my question would be, why would she tell him that she was with us, when she was with other people? So that's just a long-standing thing, and there's just a list of things that just don't make sense. I feel like not only was I lied to, but Sam was lied to. It's just very frustrating because I was a good friend to her. During her whole license suspension, I was taking her home when we were hanging out, going way out of my way to take her home because I was trying to be a good friend. And what bothers me is that our friend Sam, she didn't tell him, and she told me not to tell him because she wanted to tell him herself, and I respected that. But a whole year went by and she didn't tell him. And then she's lying right to his face right in front of me, and it makes me feel crappy because I know the truth and she just won't tell him. And the honest to God truth is that the reason why she wouldn't tell him is because she didn't want to be lectured by him. Because the simple fact of the matter is that she couldn't take responsibility for the fact that she had it. She kept passing off blame onto everybody else but herself. Blaming the police for pulling over when she did nothing. Well, the police don't just give out DUIs because they feel like it. They don't do that. So at the end of the day, obviously being a good friend to her meant absolutely nothing. It makes me feel as though I was used from the start, that my friendship meant nothing, the favors I did meant nothing, the being good to her meant nothing, and then she treats Sam the way she treats him by lying to him. It's just a shame. And now in the last year and a half, I have lost 4 friends. 4 friends. And the fact that really bothers me is that she ends the friendship in the very way she knows that I absolutely detested. What M and J did by playing the pure silence card that I told her bothered me so much for so long, she turned around and did. Dead silence. Deletes me from Instagram and Snapchat without warning. I mean, what the hell is going on? Why are people so damn immature? If you have a problem, then say it. Don't hide behind a phone. Don't hide away from people that you've known for so long. You owe them better than that. You owe me better than that. The last year and a half has been incredibly frustrating. I feel as though as I haven't been able to catch a real break. Not much has gone in a good way for me. One of my shining lights of this past year was having the privilege of being able to work with my friend Al on a short film project that we have coming out in a couple months that I am so incredibly proud of. It is a story that means a lot to me, and I think it turned out beautiful. Al put forth an incredible performance, and I am so proud of the work that he did. He brought my script to life in a way that I envisioned. His wife came on board, and the scenes that those two shared together created the perfect ending. While as I was writing the script, I pictured this ending that in my mind could have been a truly beautiful ending. And I kept thinking, can I create this? Can I pull this ending off? And as we were filming through it, the ending was always on my mind because I knew that the one part of this film that was going to be the one moment that everybody may remember was the ending, the final shots. The final shots are so important to the whole film because it provides meaning and clarity and inspiration to the whole story. And when I finally got a chance to film that scene and edit it, I could not have envisioned it being any better than what I pictured. It came out exactly the way I saw it. And I think for the first time ever, making the films that I've made for so many years, for the first time ever, something I saw in my head turned out exactly the way I pictured it, the way I dreamt it. Everything from the performances to the shots and the music and the timing and the editing just was absolutely perfection. It's a film that I am utterly and completely thankful for. And I am so happy that I got a chance to do it with Al, to do it with his wife, and to do it with my father, Mike. Because I got to work with all three of them and create something truly special with this film. And I am so happy that you all be able to see it soon enough. I am excited for my family to be able to see it and my friends to be able to see it and to be able to put it on the short film circuit in festivals and really to see how it performs and see if people can take to it as much as I feel when I watch it. That truly has been one of the greatest things that has happened this past year and a half, and a year that has really not gone too well for me. And I'm happy that I was able to share it with you on here, and I hope that I didn't go too long with my conversation on it. It feels good to be able to talk about it and be able to just vent it and release it. And if any of you have been going through a similar situation, I'd love to know. Comment on this podcast and please just know that if this has happened to you, you're not alone. You're not alone. And as we get near the end of 2025, I've come to a point where this is a year that really can't end fast enough because it has literally felt like the year from hell. I mean, I am truly thankful for the great things that have happened this year. But I am still astonished and shocked of what has happened the past 16 months with losing these friendships for no reason. And it does sadden me, and I do think about it a lot, and maybe being able to get it off my chest now, maybe in a way I can kind of let it go. But it's not going to be easy. And I just wish I had an understanding as to why people have pulled what they've pulled the last 16 months. My goal at the end of the day is to be the best friend that I can be, the best son that I can be, the best person that I can be. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. Because I think at the end of the day, I think being able to just talk about your life and have other people listen can sometimes be the best therapy possible. And that's why I'm truly doing this. Not only can I help myself, but maybe I can help one of you that's listening. So please like the podcast. Please subscribe to it. We're on all major platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, CastBox. And just let this podcast make you think about life as a whole. How it can be better. What you can do better. What we can all do better. How we can be better people. How we can treat people better. That is truly what life is all about, isn't it? Trying to be the best person, human being we possibly can. So let's all work together on that. That's my goal with this. And I hope you subscribe and you listen. So we're all in this together. Thanks for joining me on this first episode of Unscripted Life. I'm Mike Winkler. And I'll see you on the next episode. See you, everybody. Thank you for joining me and listening to this episode of Unscripted Life. Make sure to like and subscribe. We are available on CastBox, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Unscripted Life with Mike. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next episode.